story for a very long time. It involves the disappearance of a little boy in Oregon. I know you remember the story. Kyron Horman is his name. He was dropped off at school by his stepmother, and I'll never forget it because it's a typical story that as a parent could happen to any of us. Your little boy's going to the science fair. He's got on his CSI t-shirt and his tree frog project, and he's so proud of what he's doing. He's dropped off by his stepmother, never to be seen again. Well, now his mother, Desiree Young, is speaking up. She has been carrying the mantle ever since the disappearance of Kyron. She is really engaged in a relentless pursuit, and this weekend Desiree is holding a fundraiser to benefit the cause of missing and exploited children, and she joins us now. Desiree Young, hello. I wanted to meet you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
No, because I think it's so important for all of us not to forget Kyron and to keep Kyron's name out there. And every time I see you on TV, I just sort of reach out to you because I can't imagine what this experience has been like for you.
Yeah, it's horrifying. It's a nightmare.
I know it is. I know it is. Terry Horman is your ex-husband's wife. I know that they're going through a divorce. And I watched you as you went to her town, really to confront her, to say, Terry, speak up. What do you believe that Terry knows?
She knows everything. She knows all the answers. She knows where Kyron is, and she knows what happened that day.
What does your gut tell you, Desiree? What does your gut tell you now, all these months later?
Well, I've learned a lot over the case of the investigation, and I know a lot more about how Terry felt about Kyron. I know a lot more about, more specifically about her.
Did you not know how she felt about him before?
No, not at all.
No.
I always knew that she had this fake persona, but I didn't realize how deep it went.
Mm-hmm.
She had put on this facade that she loves children and that she loved Kyron, and that was all false. It was very false. It's come to our knowledge that she hated Kyron and that she has blamed a lot of her marital problems with Kane on Kyron,
mm-hmm.
and that he is the fault of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And she had an extreme hatred for him.
I'm telling you, Terry, every time I look at his little face with his glasses and his teeth, where they're going through that awkward stage, and his little CSI shirt, and just thinking how happy he must have been when he was doing his science project, I think, how could anybody really, and you even use the word hate your son, I'm thinking there's got to be something wrong with Terry Horman.
There is something very wrong with Terry Horman. Yes.
And how are you feeling about Kane Horman? Do you hold him responsible as well, your ex-husband?
That's a little bit of an uncomfortable subject. I don't hold him responsible at all. Terry is completely at fault in all of this. I know that Kane loves Kyron, and he would never do anything to hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I'm finding out a lot of stuff that was going on in the house, Tony and I both, that we were blindsided by, and that aspect I'm upset with.
And Tony is your husband. Tony is your husband.
Yes.
And where do you think he is now? Where do you think he is?
I believe he's somewhere in Portland, and I think that Terry knows exactly where he's at, and she knows what she's done with him.
Mm-hmm.
And
when you say you think he's somewhere in Portland, do you believe that he's still alive?
I hope that he is. I really do.
Too. I do too.
I want him to come home.
Yes,
and
I do too.
I pray for that every single day.
I do too. Desiree, I think of you often. Ever since this story broke, we've been covering this story from the very beginning, and every time you say something about it, we put you on the air, because I think in addition to Terry Horman knowing something, and I agree with you, I think she holds the key. I think other people know too. And I just hope that somebody in their heart will come forward and do the right thing, and do the right thing by you and your husband and everybody else who loves Kyron Horman so much. So what are you doing this weekend?
We're holding a fundraiser here local in Medford to benefit the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, to give them some more money in their fund to offset some of the cost of the searching for Kyron. We just really want to raise awareness here in Southern Oregon as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we're doing a roller derby event at the Roller Odyssey on Pacific Highway. It's something that Kyron and my my whole family, we always went to, and he enjoys it very much. So we wanted to do that for him.
All right. And Desiree, to raise awareness specifically for what? Raise awareness in hopes that what will happen by raising awareness?
Well, in hopes that someone will say something,
Yes.
come forward, talk, and give us answers.
Yeah.
I think we're at that point now. It's been far too long.
Yeah, I so agree with you. Please know, Desiree, I think of you often. I'm sending you good thoughts, good wishes, and a lot of people are pulling for you and hoping that this story has an acceptable ending to everyone involved. Thank you, Desiree Young.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Desiree is so right, too, when she says at some point, somebody, and I agree too, somebody other than Terry Horman knows more to this story. And I'm hoping that, you know, something Desiree says, something that you'll read about the story, will finally convince somebody to say, you know what, I'm going to speak up. Because as Desiree Young said, this has happened far too long. Her little boy has been missing now for 10 months. He's had a birthday, and it just doesn't make sense. When we come back, we're